I'm glad you're here. It is my great pleasure to introduce to you today my dear friend Elena Parker. She's my friend, she's an entrepreneur, she's a visionary and a very inspiring woman. We actually studied together at a Swiss hotel management school. Her father introduced us. It's true. We became friends. One day we became colleagues. We were working together in London. She has a background in hospitality. She has a background in education. Her last role was for Les Roches, the global head of marketing. She's excellent with communication, and I'm very much looking forward to her expert talk today about startups. So please welcome her with a warm round of applause. Thank you.
Wow, I'll try to live up to Geraldine's part. Thank you so much. It's a great pleasure for me to be here today. There was a time when I was also on the same bench at Hospitality Management School and wondering, what's the world out there? There's so many opportunities, corporate career, entrepreneurship, and how to choose what's the right for me. So I hope that in the next 45 minutes or so, I will be able to give you a bit of a taste of what I have discovered as an entrepreneur myself and within my career in the corporate world and how much they relate, and also to see what can be done what you can expect if you go down the entrepreneurial route. I'll be open to answer any questions. I've seen you've done your homework. There are loads of questions, and I'll do my best to answer them towards the end. But if anything comes up in the middle, you want something clarified, please don't hesitate to ask. So startups, getting a startup off the ground, how do you do it? I think most of us walk around with ideas, oh my god, we could do this, and that would be a great success, and I could make loads of money. Let me ask you a question. How many of you either have already worked with a startup, or maybe have a startup? Anybody? Maybe? No? How many of you have a thought that you might one day become an entrepreneur and run your own company? Quite a few. What sort of things are in your mind? Do you have an idea? Would you like to share? Is it something hospitality, tech startup? Anybody?
Tech, so tech
into tech. Somebody's got a hand?
No ideas. Yeah.
No ideas? Anybody else? So we'll see, maybe by the end of today there will be a couple of ideas as well that you might have. What are the key essential ingredients when it comes to a startup? Well, the first one is of course the idea, and you better have a good one. But it also matters the skills that you have, the team that you put around you, the ecosystem, equally the funding. You have to be aware of your risks and manage those risks. And then an important last element that you have to know in advance though, whether you want to exit your startup. Maybe you don't know what that means today, but in a couple of minutes you'll find out. So this is what we're going to cover in the next 45 minutes or so. Great ideas. There are definitely quite a few great ideas, right? Google was a startup one day. Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram. This is what we tend to hear a lot, and they're very, very successful ones. But these are new inventions. These are ideas that haven't existed before. We didn't have internet. We didn't need a search engine before. Obviously, there was a time where internet was discovered, and Google came quite handy to navigate this world of knowledge. But in order to come up with a great idea and a successful startup, it doesn't have to be something unique. There's much more to finding great ideas than simply being the creator of Facebook, being Mark Zuckerberg. There are loads of ideas that actually find new uses for something that has been around already. Anybody has been to Cirque du Soleil? Yeah? You've been also to traditional circus, I guess, as a child? Cirque du Soleil is one of these success stories that a traditional concept of a circus where we expect animals, we go there with a family, on a weekend, during the day, has been revolutionized by Cirque du Soleil, where you find the artist. It's no longer about the animals as such. It's also more evening entertainment, very classic by comparison to. But also taking actual existing products that work in one market and expanding them to other markets is an idea. So if you travel to Asia, to the US, and you see something that's cool out there and that works, why not bring it to your market? I don't know, to be honest, how popular Studentenverzeichnis still is today in the German-speaking world, but clearly that was inspired by Facebook, and it's definitely has been something that many students in the German-speaking world have used. But you can also find ways of something that hasn't been monetized before to monetize it. Anybody heard of BlaBlaCar? Yeah? So you probably used Mitfahrzentrale or Mitfahrgelegenheit before, which was sort of their competitor, and they've taken a major market share. BlaBlaCar is a startup that has been developed from 2 alumni from INSEAD Business School. I'm actually currently pursuing my executive MBA with INSEAD. And the guy was stuck in a traffic jam around Paris, and he saw all those empty cars around him that had only one driver. And they said, hey, how about we build a platform and we build carpooling, which some of us maybe is not new, but they have managed to raise significant funds in the millions, and they're expanding across Europe. So we found a way to monetize something that hasn't been monetized before. And last but not least, new levels of excellence in delivery. For those who like coffee, I mean, coffee has been around forever, right? But Nespresso had found kind of a stylish way with George Clooney and their "What else" slogan to make a very fancy experience at home to make those gorgeous cappuccinos and latte macchiatos. So let me show you a quick video, because what's essential for you now is really to understand, is an idea good, does it have potential, or is an idea maybe not good? And I want you to watch this video and think, if you had $1 million, would you give him to this guy? Let's see.
I'm Mike, founder of DollarShaveClub.com. What is DollarShaveClub.com? Well, for $1 a month, we send high-quality razors right to your door. Yeah, $1. Are the blades any good? No. Our blades are great. Each razor has stainless steel blades, an aloe vera lubricating strip, and a pivot head. It's so gentle a toddler could use it. And do you like spending $20 a month on brand name razors? 19 go to Roger Federer. I'm good at tennis.
And do you think your razor needs a vibrating handle, a flashlight, a back scratcher, and 10 blades? Your handsome-ass grandfather had 1 blade and polio. Looking good, Pop-Up! Stop paying for shave tank you don't need. And stop forgetting to buy your blades every month. Alejandro and I are going to ship them right to you. We're not just selling razors, we're also making new jobs. Alejandro, what were you doing last month?
Not working.
What are you doing now?
Working.
I'm no Vanderbilt, but this train makes hay. So stop forgetting to buy your blades every month and start deciding where you're going to stack all those dollar bills I'm saving you. We are DollarShaveClub.com, and the party is on.
So hands up, who's going to invest? Good. The rest, you don't think it's going to fly? Well, let me tell you, the ones who invested, they got very rich, because that was a $1 billion idea. Quite stunning, isn't it? So $1 Shave Club was invented by 2 guys who kind of said, we're fed up buying all those razors, and probably men can relate more to that than myself, for all this expensive money from Gillette, and 5 blades and all those different functionalities that we don't need. And plus, anyways, we run out of time, we run out of razors when we need them for this very important meeting that day. So $1 Shave Club just ships them to you, and you just forget about buying razors ever again. You always have a constant supply, and it costs you $1. Unilever, that is a major company in the FMCG industry, has bought them for $1 billion. Sounds like a good idea? Yeah? So I would like to introduce to you just briefly a smart methodology of how, particularly Silicon Valley, startups briefly validate their ideas. And this has been developed by a company called IDEO, and they're the ones behind many devices that we use nowadays, from a printer to all the Apple devices. In fact, because they have been working very closely with Steve Jobs in making sure that all the technology that is provided by Apple has this design element that we know is at the core of the business. The methodology is called design thinking, and today Stanford have developed, in collaboration with them, an institution called the D School at Stanford, where you can take the different courses. And the design thinking methodology is very simple. It takes the design elements and brings that into sort of businessy concepts. And what does it mean? So when you have an idea, the first thing that you want to do is you actually want to observe. Because what often happens is we have this idea in our mind that we believe others will like, but that does not mean that they will actually like it. It might be just our personal perspective, and that's where many things go wrong. It may be that your intuition has been right, but you have to actually go out there into the world and observe people. You want to launch something that will be sold in a supermarket? Spend hours in a supermarket observing customers. How do they buy? How do they choose? What unconscious decisions do they take? Once you have observed and gathered the knowledge, you brainstorm. So what does that actually mean? How can we make something that will solve a customer's problem based on this particular behavior? And then you prototype. You create something called an MVP, which is a minimum viable product. You put as little money possible, but you make it real. And you guys live in a wonderful time, and so do I. We have 3D printing and all this stuff. We have 3D printers at the train station in Zurich. So if I wanted to prototype a little device quickly, I can literally go to the train station, pay $50, and I have a prototype of a very simple device that I can then test out whether it has validity. Once I have a minimum viable product, I go and refine it. I try it, I let potential customers try it, I try it within my team, and then, only then, I actually start the implementation. The startups that go wrong oftentimes is they sit in this box of developing a product that they believe is perfect. They don't allow potential customers to test it, but then the day they do, they realize they've gone down the wrong route. So this will save you in a very fast way from making many mistakes in developing things that actually customers want to buy. So when you're testing ideas, when you're looking at ideas, you have to do the market research. That's essential. And if you want to sell to, there has to be a market there. They will have to buy your product eventually. You have to decide of how you're going to be competing. Is this a very saturated market or not? And if it's not, why aren't other players there? Is it something original? Can you actually secure intellectual property? And particularly with tech startups, that's often a very strong component, of course, that you develop something that you own and then nobody can recreate. Because anything that's easy to copy, and in your strategy or marketing courses, you may have come or you will come across something called Porter's 5 Forces. It's a very popular business framework. If it's easy for other people to enter the same market and to replicate, or they find a much better substitute, you don't have a business. And without having this awareness, you won't be able to actually get your product out there. Has anybody ever heard of TiVo? I don't know if we have any Americans in the room. TiVo. Yes? How did you hear about them?
It's where you record television shows, right?
Exactly, yeah.
I used to have it.
You used to have it. Okay. You don't have, it doesn't exist anymore, right? Or just, you...
Well, I mean, I feel like now people use more like internet and other ways to watch shows.
What do you think we use today?
Netflix?
TiVo and Netflix started off at the same time. Thank you. You can see only one person in the room knows it. They had a very ambitious goal. It was sort of during the DVD times that you could just flick through television shows and skip advertising, and you could watch the show whenever you wanted because it was pre-recorded. Today it's called streaming, and that's what Netflix does. Netflix and TiVo started at the same time, but TiVo had this very visionary idea, which was great, but A, they made it very expensive and very difficult to use. And people don't like change. If I give you a device and you need a manual, I don't have a business. Right? Anybody ever used a manual with an iPhone or an iPad or any of these? Not really. And Netflix, they have started very traditional. They have actually been shipping DVDs. So we all knew back in these days we can just go and pick up a DVD and watch a movie that we want. And all Netflix offered that was different is they would just ship it to us. So not much change, right? We have nothing to lose by having sent a DVD rather than going to a shop. So people are resistant to change, and I'm sure you'll come across that in many, many different contexts in your professional life, but that also applies to startups. So your most innovative idea that's very groundbreaking and new may not be the one that's going to take off. But having a vision is what counts, and educating your customers step by step towards that vision so that they don't feel that they're going through change. Because Netflix 20 years ago, or 15, they told us you can stream from the internet, where most of us actually didn't have laptops. This is what we use today to watch it, right? Also wouldn't have worked. So you have to consider these elements. And at the end of the day, whatever you do, whatever your idea is, be damn good at it. Because if you're not, people will figure it out. No matter how much education you have, etc., if you've gone for a wrong idea, it's not going to make up for it. Therefore, fail fast, figure out, is this a viable idea? Can people just steal it? Because there's some great ideas out there, but what stops the big companies like Microsoft, Google, from entering the same space? Oftentimes they have much better funding than any one of us can have. So keep that in mind. The skills. When it comes to a startup as anywhere else, you need to have the right personality. In the startup world, and also in the corporate world, you'll find that people are looking for this entrepreneurial skill set. We'll talk about it in a second. And of course, the technical skill set. So these three areas are the ones that you have to address. When you talk to people from startups, they often feel it's a rather tough journey. It will pay off rather well, as we have seen with the $1 Shave Club, 1 billion. Yeah, it's probably worth a couple of weekends and evenings and then hard work, but don't underestimate it. It can also be a very lonely journey in the beginning because you simply don't have the resources to hire 50 people, in most cases at least. And you have to figure out whether you have the right personality for it. Will you be committed? And most importantly, will you be passionate about it? When I was a full-time entrepreneur with and spending my days with the International Young Leaders Club, I would wake up in the morning, my computer was by my bed, I would open my screen, and I'd start working. Because I loved it. I really enjoyed what I was doing, and I didn't feel that wasn't work for me. And even though it was taking off most of my time, I didn't feel it. And that's kind of where you want to be in the space. Because if you have to really convince yourself all the time, it ain't gonna work. But nonetheless, you can't do it all by yourself. You have to make sure that you have a support team around you. That means also your friends who empower you, but equally, you can probably not do everything that your startup needs because you won't have the skills. So you need to put together the right team. You need also to be able to delegate. You need to network because at that stage when you're, if I may say so, a nobody at the beginning and nobody knows whether your product or your company will be good. The only thing that will matter is your personal credentials, your personal brand that you have developed amongst your friends, family members, because you might ask them for some money, amongst your peers, maybe amongst employers that you have worked so far. Those are the people who you can go back to. Ever so often people start a startup and then they go back to their former employers and say, hey, I have this great idea, I think it will solve this problem for you, do you want to buy? I've done nothing different as well. Because people already know what you stand for, and they're more likely to buy from you than from somebody out there. And you have to be prepared to fail. Entrepreneurs who are not willing to fail will fail. But if you fail and you learn why you have failed, you take that learning on board and implement that in the next round, you're going to succeed. Because it's a build-up of failures, until you understand what is the perfect product, what is the customer, what is the right strategy. You might go to one market and say, okay, it doesn't work, where else? I'm moving out quickly before I'm wasting too much money. And there are desperate stories out there where people believe their idea is just the best, and they put hundreds of millions towards this idea until they still learn, well, it hasn't been from the beginning, but nobody really told them, and they just wanted it to be true. So be honest to yourselves. An entrepreneurial spirit, another element that is important in terms of your skill set, is quite a few different dimensions. I've mentioned already passion that goes with entrepreneurship, but also being able to adapt. The world around you changes very fast, and what you thought is actually the perfect product 6 months ago may no longer be the case, and you might have to adjust. And you have to have this willingness to overstep your own pride to some extent, because you've put so much effort, you've developed that, and somebody tells you now, well, you know what, for it to fly, you have to make some changes to it. But also it's about innovation, it's about ambition, it's very much about perseverance, because there will be days where things are tough, where you think, okay, I have cash left for the next 2 weeks, and I have to pay 5 people a salary. How am I going to do it? What am I going to do? How can I secure another client between now and then? How am I going to manage cash flow? So there will be tough times. But equally, when you have these successes, they're ecstatic, they're really wonderful, and that balances off. But you have to have a balance of both, and you have to be prepared to get up when things are tough. So you have to see for yourselves whether you have this entrepreneurial spirit, whether you have this resilience. It's not for everybody. However, even in the corporate world, if you have the entrepreneurial skill, if you've gone through this experience, and it is somewhere also inside you, it is also very much valued by employers, because big corporations, named GE, Ford, they are being overtaken by the Ubers of the world. So they have to be agile, and they have to respond equally. They can no longer just sit back and wait for the money to come in, because it's not the case. Just read this morning, IBM is struggling, their sales are down by 25%, and IBM is a major company worldwide. But their computers are not selling in the same way as they used to be. And last but not least, your technical expertise, right? So you have to have a passion, however, you have to know the industry, the field that you're playing in. If you know less than your competitors, that's a major disadvantage. You have to know more about your customers, about the landscape than your competitors. You can use your internships as part of your program to go out there and actually explore where you want to develop this technical expertise, but you have to be damn good at it in whatever you do. So if you're going into programming, tech startups, you may not be a programmer yourself, but you better have a partner with you who knows how to make things happen on the technical side. The team. Do you think team is important? We talked about ideas, skills. Yeah, quite important. I agree as well. So when you talk about teams, you find different constellations, but in general, there should be somebody in your team who's the visionary, who's the dreamer, who dares to put this big vision, this is where we're going to go, can inspire everybody around you, but also can inspire your potential investors and others. But also somebody needs to be who's a customer champion, and business connector, who goes out there, talks to the companies, talks to the customers, knows what's going on, and is very much an extrovert in that case, who can get your business out there, and people know about it, that you exist, and they can come to you to buy your services. You also need an innovation architect or a task master, often a techie person, if it's a tech startup. Most startups today tend to be in the tech field, obviously, who gets things done and manages the processes. But also finance. Don't neglect somebody who is a profitable rainmaker, who prepares for funding rounds when you go through actual funding. It's a lot of work to prepare all the financials, but also to manage the financials of a company, because it can be underestimated how quickly cash disappears. And indeed, you said teams are important. Even if you have a great idea, even if you have your skill set, with the wrong team, 92% of startups, they just go. And therefore, make sure you find somebody who is a co-founder, complement your skills, that you feel we're aligned, this is what we want to achieve. Are we building a lifestyle business? something for our own that we just want to run and run for the cash so that we generate enough income? Are we running it for exit? Know that in advance. Do you have complementary skills? You don't want everybody in the team to be out there presenting. You actually need people who get stuff done. And how you're going to manage your relationships. There will be conflicts, there will be tough times, there will be moments where one says we have to go this way, the other one will say go this way. Therefore, the legal framework is very important, because once you have a startup that generates you 10,000 a month, and you still haven't agreed whether, if it's 2 of you, somebody owns 51% and 49, or if the 3 of you, how the stake is allocated, that's when things will be tricky. So even from the very, very first moment that you've been thinking of doing something together, before you actually commit, on a simple piece of paper, it can literally be just drawn, because it's actually valid in court, by hand, how do you split it? So if things go south, how do you split it, and who's allowed to keep what and continue with the business? Because it can be a big challenge for many startups. It is an up and down, but if you're together in a team, it's so much easier, because you can support yourself, motivation, etc. So finding the right co-founder is very important. But then, of course, it's about getting the work done. And I think it's often you see startups sort of working, they're trying to get this great product, but they tend to forget about the customers. It's sort of a link back to design thinking. Make sure that whatever you do, you always go back to, are we solving a real customer problem? Is this something that the customer will buy because I will make this life easier? And is my solution the right solution? Because you might have also identified a very serious problem that customers are facing, but you may not have the right solution because you haven't taken it from the right angle. And only by going out there and testing it and getting feedback and input, you'll actually be sure that you don't just sit in your closed room, as we see startups often, but you actually do something with the input from the outside world. But also make sure that you have the right competencies. It is very important. As a startup, you cannot hire 50 people. So you need people who can do loads of things, but you need experts depending on what we do. And today, there's a great platform that I recommend, and I've used them a lot. It's called Upwork. And actually, if you just want to try yourself as a freelancer, just sign up, and whatever it is, you're good at essay writing, or you can write a brochure for somebody, post it, and somebody might pay you 50 euros for it. But you can find people who can do certain tasks for you across the globe in many different languages, and you pay them on a freelancer. Because the last thing what you want as a startup is fixed staffing costs. You simply cannot afford that because the risks are very, very high with that. But also when you're growing, when startups think about we're securing this sale, we need to staff more. Some actually hold back and they're too scared to staff it. So staff by demand. When you have a product that sells and you need that to produce, don't hold back from putting the right people in place who can deliver that product. So the challenge can be on either you don't have enough customers when you have too many people, or vice versa, you have too many customers and not enough people to deliver on that particular product. The startup ecosystem. Of course, the title of today is Silicon Valley because, and you'll see in a second why, it is the birthplace of startups worldwide, and there's a reason why it is. The startup ecosystem provides you with communities, provides you with tools and places, and will help you to succeed with your startup. What is out there? So there are different things. Mostly when we start, the very first day we have an idea and we say, I'm going to actually put a little bit of time to it, and I'm going to research the market, put a business plan together, and work on it. That happens on the sofa or on your in your student dorm, wherever that is, right? You've heard the stories. But then you feel kind of lonely because you want input from other people, so you find loads of co-working spaces. That's kind of one step up from your living room. You find mentors and coaches out there and really use them because they are there to help you, they're there to put you on the right track, and the earlier you get the feedback, the more likely you will be successful. You find different pitch clubs, you find impact hubs, but then of course you have angels, incubators, and